What up, my Grayce?
What up?
It's Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, how are you? How was the weekend? Good? Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm fabulous. Weekend was amazing. Last week was amazing. And today was my first day at my brand new job.
All right, don't tell me anymore. I didn't really want to know that much. You can tell me after the intro.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, you almost made me forget the intro again. We're a show. We have to do this the right way. So we're going to do the intro.
One step at a time. How was your weekend?
I'll tell you after the intro.
Okay, got it.
Grayce, listen up.
Yeah.
Tonight's show will cover personal challenges with someone who has lost a little weight. Let's get the party hopping on episode 48.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm Yearick, Idiot Runner Kosek.
And I'm Grayce, Hot Pants Langheim. Yearick is all business in the front of the pack, and I am all about the party in the back.
That's right, business up front and party in the back. Together, we are the Running Mullet.
And we are going to talk about every aspect of running, the podium to the DNF and everything in between.
If you are a runner, this show is for you. Now sit back, get out your foam roller, and enjoy the party.
Oh man, Grayce, I have a question for you. Is there such a thing as getting overgraced?
No, doesn't exist.
All right, good, because like I'm gonna see you this coming weekend at the Frozen Snot, and I just saw you 2 weeks ago. I saw you, and then we see each other's faces on Monday nights.
Yeah,
that's a lot of grace in my face. I'm not gonna lie.
It is. It's a lot of grace in your face, and I have had a lot of Yearick. But I tell you what, I kind of miss you because I haven't. It's been a whole week.
Yeah,
it's been a week.
Yeah, you can't get enough, Yearick. That's a good point. I agree. I mean, I don't feel like I'm overgraced, but I wanted to bring it up. I didn't want to cross that threshold.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that we can talk through it, and let's put a pin in it and check in.
That's a good thing. I'll check in next week and see how we feel. What was your weekend like? What did you do this past weekend?
Let's see. What did I do this past weekend? I mean, I did some running at Lake Redmond yesterday. Oh, I did. I was going to run the Jacobus 5-miler, but I ended up helping with timing instead. So that was fun.
Even better. Yep.
Yeah. And so, I mean, my big news is that I started my new job today, and inevitably people say, "Oh, so what are your hobbies?" And I said, "Well, I run." And I was at lunch.
Did you ask them if they wanted to hear about your running? Because that's important.
Oh, it's so hard to talk about because you have to start from, like, you have to sit somebody down with a PowerPoint presentation to train them on what it means to be a trail runner. And so I'm at lunch with 5 people, and I told them I'm a runner, and they said like marathons and stuff. And I said, yeah, sure. And I don't even think I got a chance to answer. And immediately they formulated this vision of me in their brains. And
ooh, I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah. And so somehow the conversation turned over to food or something like that. And they're like, "Oh, well, you wouldn't like that because you're pretty healthy." And I'm like, whoa, let's hold your horses here, because I love a good donut. I don't know what you're talking. We're going to talk about weight today a little bit. So trigger warning there. We're going to talk about weight loss, I think in a great, healthy way. But yeah, I was thinking in my head, like, I gained 20 pounds actually when I started ultra running, but I'm faster, stronger, and have more endurance than I've had in my entire life. But anywho, it was a little weird because I was like, yeah, please don't leave. I'm saying if somebody's bringing cake to work, please include me. That's what I'm saying.
You should have slapped this said person with the double-decker cream pie. That would have got the point across more. Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Look, fishes. This is what I do.
Yeah, it's I feel with bacon and Fireball at Frozen Snot, like everybody else.
Whatever. Just let it go. Tomorrow's another day. There's going to be more dumb questions. You just gotta
They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out eventually. This guy told me all about a great trail that I should check out called the Mason-Dixon Trail. And I was like, yeah, I should definitely check that out. I will.
You should put that on your list.
I'm going to put it on my list.
That is awesome. I love that. That's the best part. All right. Let's not wait any longer. I don't have anything to talk about my weekend. I kind of lounged around getting over this illness, and I didn't do a lot of anything other than enjoy relaxing. So yeah, let's go with the show here. Yeah. Can I do the little intro, or you want to take it?
Oh, you take this intro. I'm pretty excited for our guest, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show. We have high viewership already tuning in, which is amazing. That's the most important thing, obviously. So tonight's guest, his name is Dan Yearick. I am recently got connected with him through the Facebook world more than anything, I think. Literally like 2 weeks ago. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on the video here. But he is a weight loss stud of sorts who has a great story. Fought through some battles in his life, and where he ended up now is half of what he used to be. He started out at 550-ish, didn't start out. He maxed out at 550-ish pounds, and he is now down around the 190s area. You think about that in your head for a second, and it kind of blows your mind. A lot of hard work and stuff like that, but we're going to hear his story, how he got there, and now he's into the whole Spartan thing. He's kind of addicted to the Spartan thing, along with trail running. He's done a couple local races and is getting into the trail running more and more. So obviously, as us trail runners, we welcome him to the family, and we look forward to your story, Dan. So thank you for joining us, and I hope many people listen to this show.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, my name's Dan Yearick. As Eric said, I hit a real high weight, which was my lowest point in my life. I hit a highest weight of 525 pounds. I've always been a bigger guy, especially when I was a kid. Moved around a lot because I was a military kid. So, I mean, there was between that, going from friends to friends and getting bullied and all that stuff. So, I mean, it wasn't easy. But, for the main part, like it's been a struggle for a long time. Went through a couple of relationships, and it ended pretty badly. Here I thought I was in love for quite a few of them, and just obviously wasn't the right time. And of course that, made it worse for my weight. Went into old habits, just eating, not caring, just it got pretty dark in some areas. So, going forward, met my wife in 2017. She literally calls me her Christmas miracle. We literally met the day after Christmas in 2017. I picked her up on a date, and we literally have not looked back since. So granted, during that time, that's when I hit my highest weight, was when I was with her in the beginning. But she was always on my case about it. Like, you need to do something. You need to get yourself healthy. Like, I love you. I care about you. And like I said, I went through bad histories of, relationships where it was one of them deals where I had trust issues. So I didn't know who to trust and who to believe. So, we got married in 2020, October 2020. And I told her flat out, I said, after the new year, I said, I'm going to the doctors, because I have not even been to a doctor at that point for like 10 plus years, basically since I hit high school. So basically I didn't care about my health. I didn't care about my weight. And I met my doctor. No, excuse me. Met my doctor, and basically I walked in, I said, hey, I want to, have my physical, find out what's going on. I already had sleep apnea because I was over the road truck driving at the time. And, I knew that was a deadly thing that could happen. And here to find out, he diagnosed me with high blood pressure. I said, well, how bad are we talking? And he's like, right now you're at like 158, 160, over 120. I'm like, okay, is that like bad? He's like, well, put it this way. You don't do something now, you've probably got about 5 to 10 years maximum before you have a heart attack or a massive stroke. So when that had been said, that literally was like a kick to the face. Like, okay, I need to do something now. which I already had the intentions of wanting to talk to him about, doing weight loss surgery. So I had went into the weight loss program, and that was April of 21. Yeah, April 21. And I was, I had to lose 10% of my own body weight on my own. I also had to go through multiple doctor's appointments, physicals, blood work, psychological evaluation. I had to go through a lot. And that's, a lot of people say, with this whole weight loss surgery, oh, well, you took the easy way out. Well, unfortunately, that's not the truth, because that right there, just those 6 months was hard enough for me, because I literally had to, learn how to diet. I had to learn how to mentally prepare myself. I mean, I had to learn how to, one of the biggest things is like, you have to learn how to drink 30 minutes before you eat, and no more, or then you can only drink 30 minutes after you eat. So that's a hard thing to learn too, because you're so used to, when you're normal, you're just used to just, oh, here, I'll drink a soda, or here, I'll drink a water with my meal. Here, I can't do that, because basically if I do that, it pushes it right through.
Yeah. So I want to pause really quick. So I just want to recap this for people. I've known a couple of people who went through the same or similar process. So you worked with your doctor to go through weight loss surgery, and just for our listeners here, there's a lot that has to happen to even become eligible for that, including losing weight. So you had to lose weight. You had a lot of tests that had to be done, and work with either a counselor or a therapist, or some people who are very smart to help you with that process before you could even become eligible for it. And then you had to go through that journey of going through it, and then rehab afterwards. So I just wanted to pause right there. There was so much work.
And I'm curious. I'm also curious, real quick. You said you had to lose 10% before you could have the surgeries, and you were at 525. I'm not good with math, Grayce. Roughly how many pounds is that?
It's around 52, 55.
Okay, so let's call it fit. You had to lose 50 pounds on your own. I'm curious, and I know you were at that point. You were pretty locked into this is what this is what you're going to do, and you wanted to do it. But how? Obviously, you dieted, but how crazy did you get with losing the pounds? Or was it something like you just started fasting and wanting to lose the pounds, or were you exercising? What did you do? What was your plan?
So even though I was still working at the rock quarry at the time, I kind of basically changed positions. I went into a heavy equipment operating side. So I was out more often. I wasn't just doing a street sweeper. I was actually out in the heavy equipment. I was also helping with the shop. So I was lifting, a lot of heavy stuff. Biggest thing though, with the dieting is, like I said, the drinking thing, that changes a lot of different things. I cut out all soda. I cut out a lot of bread. I mean, I still had some carbs, but I got real strict with it. I was basically already trying to do the bariatric diet already. So I was doing yogurts, high proteins, low carbs. So I mean, when I was doing the meats, I was sticking with chicken, ground turkey, venison, the higher proteins. I still had my beef, but I kind of cut back on beef. Pork, I basically kind of got away from, just because it's, higher fat. Fish was a big one. I'm a big fish eater, so that's a good thing. That's high protein. But basically I changed my lifestyle around with my dieting, and that helped out a lot. And then, like I said, it was when I was originally supposed to have my surgery, it was supposed to be October 21. Well, COVID was obviously high at that time. So everybody that was elective surgery got pushed back. And I was like, okay, well, what are we looking at now? They were saying about February. And I was like, all right, well, I know how this is going to turn out, because the holidays are going to come and we're going to be probably pushed back yet again. Sure enough, happened. They called me January of 22, said, hey, unfortunately, we got to push you back. I said, great. Now, how far are we looking about this time? They said, all right, this should be the last time, third time's a charm. They said, we're looking at, April 22. They said April 27th. I said, perfect. I said, that's shortly right after my birthday. I said, that's a birthday present itself to myself and my family. And so we got it, we got in, and I also had to do 2 weeks of hell. I had to do a liquid diet for 2 straight weeks. It was just literally broth, water. I was allowed to have one pudding a day or something like that, sugar-free pudding. I forget what else there was. Oh, sugar-free popsicles. I can have like 2 of them. But I had to do that literally for straight 2 weeks. So yeah, broth was like my new best friend for 2 weeks.
So is that just like trying to clean out your system before the procedure, or what? What's the reason?
It was, yeah, basically from what I've understood is it basically cleans you out. But also with me, being as big as I was, I also had a very fatty liver, which was another problem I had going on. Having the fatty liver, when they do that, in order for them to be able to do it laparoscopic, they have to be able to get past your liver and everything. So that's the other reason behind the whole doing the liquid diet is they need to be able to get in there. On top of that, they also did mine where they pulled my gallbladder out as well, because like they had said that the way my surgery was is if I had gotten gallstones, they would only be able to come up through the backside, which is a very high risk surgery than doing it if it was a normal gallstone removal. And one thing I didn't want. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So for anyone listening, because we're ultra runners and we take things to an ultra extreme, remember he was under close supervision for all of this. Please don't go on a 2-week liquid diet.
Yes, I will admit. And it's not fun. Like, yeah, okay, you might lose weight, but you're also going to be spending time in a certain room for quite a while too.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It's a clean. But one thing I did not go over, and I should have done that right in the beginning, was there is different versions of this weight loss surgery. So you have the traditional Roux-en-Y, which is your regular bypass. You have the sleeve, which is where they take your stomach and basically just make it like a shape of a banana. And then there's the biliopancreatic divert with the duodenal switch, which is what I had. So mine, in order for you to qualify, one, you have to be able to be, or you have to be, was I think 50% BMI or higher. Now, like I said, when I was at 525, I was sitting at 64 or 65% body mass index, which is extremely morbidly obese. Like I said, I mean, and when I look at the numbers now, it's like, I look at everything like, because what I think in order to be considered non-obese is like 25% or below or something like that. I forget. Sure. So it's like, you look at that number compared to what's considered normal. It's like, whoa, like, okay, like I need to do something.
Yeah.
But going back to like with my surgery, what that deals with is, so mine, they took my stomach. They basically they took out about 80% of my stomach out of me, stapled it up, left me with the diameter of a banana and the shape of a banana. Then they took the duodenal, which is your normal digestive tract, took that off where it connects to the stomach, crimped it, took my small bowel and put that into where the duodenal was, and that became my new digestive tract. Now, the problem is with I shouldn't say problem. The biggest risk that you have to take with this surgery that I had is everything that I eat and that I consume, I only get 30% nutritional value out of everything I eat. It doesn't matter whether it's, high protein, high calories, whatever it is, I only get 30% every single time I eat. So I also have to take multivitamins for the rest of my life. I have to take one a day, one at night, and then take 2 calciums in the morning and take 2 at night. And then I also have to take a vitamin B12 injection every 3 months, which is no big deal. The biggest thing is like, like I said, you have to stick with your diet, because the biggest thing is with this surgery is that like your body will flat out tell you what it will and will not like. I found that out multiple times.
What's an example of something your body did not like?
Okay, so like basically like with the weight loss surgery, they basically tell you stay away from high fatty foods or stay away from sugar. I mean, you can have it, but like I think like what was it? I think the serving size for like sugar is like no more than, they don't want you any more than usually 10 to 12 grams, and then the fats they want you in the 5 to 15. They want you to keep it lower. Just because that like your stomach will get upset, and that's going to basically cause dumping syndrome. So basically the dumping syndrome, obviously it's basically what it sounds like. Like you're literally just going to take your whole entire gut and just completely liquefy it. And then you're going to the bathroom.
Oh boy.
So yeah, it's not fun. I
Yeah.
mean,
So no double decker oatmeal cream pies.
no,
Okay,
I mean,
got it.
no, now have I had an oatmeal cream pie before? Yes. I mean, did it
Yeah.
do anything? No, but I was also racing at the time.
Okay.
So like it wasn't like my body was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna ruin you. Like it actually was wanting it.
Mhm.
And that's one thing I've learned too, like with me racing, like the days that I do race, I notice that I can get away with more where I can have the fattier
Yeah.
stuff because I think my body's already preparing for it.
Yeah, it's
But
using
like
it
when I'm
up.
in
It's
training, but when I'm in training mode, like it's like flat out no.
Yeah.
Because it does mess with me really bad. But like with this surgery, I lost, the lowest I ever got down to was 186.
Mhm.
And I put in a little more weight since now, just because I've been bulking up, obviously. I mean, I didn't mind the whole slender look, but at the same time, I just like when I looked at myself, I just didn't look normal. Like I didn't look healthy wise.
Mhm.
I mean, like my bone structures up in here was like real bad. I mean, everything else was like real bony looking, and I didn't like that image. It wasn't me. It wasn't the beast.
Yeah.
So I did that, and so I had my surgery, lost a lot of weight, and very quickly too. I mean, I hit my 1 year, and I think when I did my 1 year, I hit all the way down to what was it, low 200.
Okay.
And my doctor flat out saw me, and he's like, "Wow," he's like, "I didn't even recognize you." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "I know. Trust me, I have family members that I'll walk by and buy at Walmart, and I haven't seen them for a while,
Mhm.
and they literally look right at me and just
Mhm.
walk right past me." I'm like, "Are you not going to say hi?" And they're like, "Dan?" I'm like, "Yeah." Oh my God, like I didn't even recognize you. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had some friends that I haven't seen in a long time, from at the previous jobs. And as soon as they heard my voice, they recognized who I was, but like they would have never thought it.
Yeah.
But
So you lost like kind of estimating around 200 pounds in a year.
yeah, I lost it real quick.
That's
And
nuts.
so before we get to, because I want to hear about your racing now and kind of where you are now, but before we get to that, through that process, whether it was, the initial weight loss that you were doing by yourself or through the surgery or through that initial year, what did you learn about yourself through that process?
So with that one, I would say like I really learned how disciplined I needed to be with myself and how dedicated I needed to be. I mean, it was one of those. I kind of knew what I already knew what I was getting myself into because like I went into a lot of different uh, support groups. And I seen the horror stories. People were like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm horrible. Like I don't know why I feel like crap." And it's like, you find out that these people are like 2 weeks post-op and they're eating a donut. And it's like you shouldn't even be touching that.
Yeah.
So like, I already like taught myself like don't even do it. Don't even tempt it. Like it's the devil. It just don't even do it. So, I basically learned, really discipline myself and just, stay forward with it. And like I said, the biggest thing was my wife and my family. And it's like the whole point behind this was so I can live with them and grow old with them.
Right.
And so that's, that was my biggest thing. But after all that, I waited after a year. I got into racing. I went what was it, back in 2015, I think it was Hurricane Ivan or whatever it was. It was a real bad hurricane. I remember it. There was a OCR event that was held up here at the Clinton County Fairgrounds. It was known as Hardcore Mud Run. It's through a firefighting organization, and I fell in love with it. I mean, granted, I was like 300 and I think I was like 330 or 350, something like that. Fell in love with it. Then I got out of it because there was no other events coming nearby. Spartan wasn't as big. I didn't really even know about them. So once I did that, it was like, all right, this is neat. Maybe in the future I can do it. Well, like I said, then I had my problems. I gained more weight. like I said, because I was at like 350, I think, around that time. And obviously I ballooned up another 200 more pounds. So, you know, I waited until after my surgery. I was like, you know what, let me lose my weight. Let me get myself conditioned up a little bit. And let's, you know, see if I can get myself into, you know, possibly getting into running. Cause I've always enjoyed running. So I went to, what was it? Up in the Poconos. I went to Savage Race.
Yeah.
I did the beast in the race and the blitz back to back. Both races done pretty quickly. I forget where I finished age group wise and everything. I know I was doing pretty good. But before I did that race, I had posted a thing on the Savage Syndicate page, you know, about my weight loss journey. I had so many people comment on that post. I think I had like over 600 comments.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane. So I show up to this event, and it was funnier than all can be because I've never felt, you know, where I felt like someone.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there. I'm sitting there in the registration line, and everyone's like looking at me. I'm like, something wrong? Like, did I do something? Like, am I dressed up the wrong way? Like, what? And they're like, you're that guy. I'm like, what guy? They're like, the guy off Facebook, the one that lost 300 pounds to do this race. I said, yeah. I was like, you saw that post, I take it. And they're like, yeah. They're like, you're the reason I came today because I wanted to race. And it was like, just from there, like, it was like, oh my gosh, like, I actually inspired someone. And it was like weird because, you know, I've always looked up to other people, but I've never felt like I've done that to anybody else. It was awkward, but it was like amazing and rewarding at the same time.
Yeah.
So I did my Savage race. Everybody saw me. Even the race director actually had me come up on stage. That was a curveball because he's like telling everybody, he's like, hey, we got a celebrity in the house, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like looking around like an idiot, like, who are we talking about? You know, is there like some famous like musician or something going on? Like, what's up? And I look back at him and he's looking right at me and he's like, come up here. Well, he had me literally tell my whole entire story for people that didn't see the Facebook post. And literally everybody was so happy. They let me run, you know, up front with them. They had me lead off on the main open race, and it was just, you know, fun from there on out.
Wow.
So at the end, I got done, hurried up, changed. Like I said, I went right into the blitz right after I got done with the race. I had like 10 minutes. I hurried up, changed my race bib, had a beer, like went right to the start line and just ran. Everybody at the end of that race was like, dude, you did phenomenal. Like, if you really want to like get into this, you should look at, you know, getting into Spartan or Tough Mudders. I was like, all right. So I looked it up online and, you know, I seen that they had this thing called a trifecta. I'm like, what's this all about? So the trifecta, what it is it's a 3-race series. You can either do it all in one weekend or you can do it in all in 1 year at least. And you get you get your individual medals, and then each individual medal has like a wedge, and it'll make a, you know, a bigger medal.
Yeah. And that's with Spartan.
Yeah, that's through Spartan. Yep.
Yeah.
So I did Vernon, New Jersey. I believe that was October. Yeah, beginning of October of last year. So I got online and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna hit it big. Like, I did the blitz in the race, which was a 10K and 5K. The trifecta is the same thing, but you're adding on the third race, which is known as the Beast. That is a 21K. So it's like 13 and a half-ish miles, because Spartan doesn't really give you the actual miles. It's always an ish.
Yeah.
So I did the Beast right off the bat that Saturday. Did phenomenal. I did pretty decent, I think. I mean, especially being my first big race ever. I think I did the Beast in, 5 hours and 34 minutes or something like that.
Nice.
So, I mean, that's not horrible for 13 miles, especially when you're considering that you're also doing 30 obstacles on top of that.
Yep.
Then the next day I woke up, felt great. I used some type of CBD muscle cream. Woke up the next day, felt like $1 million, and I said, let's go. And everyone's like, you're not sore? I'm like, no, I'm ready to go. Like, let's go. And I did the super and the sprint back to back. And then, you know, I left, and, you know, I never looked back since. So, you know, I got more into that. Then I found another local one. I found a Zombie Fun Run. It was in Lancaster. And then I met Chris Fleming and the PA Trail Dogs.
Yeah.
Great group. I can't thank them more than enough.
Yep.
I got in with them. I believe actually Craig was able to get me into what race was it? Call the Wilds.
Oh, nice.
I think that one was sold out at the time, but he said, just show up. Usually we always have a couple stragglers that don't come or whatever.
Yeah.
And you should be able to register in. So I did.
Nobody heard that. Nobody heard that.
But I did the 5 miler with my nephew the day before, the Little Pine. Was it Little Pine?
Little
right?
Pine, yep.
Yep, I did the Little Pine 5 miler with my nephew, which he did great. I think he finished like second out of all the kids.
Nice.
Like,
Great.
But I mean, he's a little beanpole. He weighs like, what is it? I think he's like 98 pounds, and he's in 9th grade and he wrestles. So I mean, he's got the speed. But then I did the Call the Wilds the next day. I did pretty good. I forget where I finished at, but it was like mid-pack. So I wasn't in the back, but I wasn't in the front.
Mid-pack is good for that race.
Yeah. I mean, you guys got the front and the back. I guess I'll take the middle.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Now, Carl.
It's a great question, by the way. I love
this. Is like literally, I was thinking the same thing. And Carl Perkins just put into the chat you read my mind, Carl. Do you feel like you have any unique competitive advantages as a result of your weight loss journey?
I'm trying to think of how to answer that. I mean, I don't know if I'd really say I have any real advantages. I mean,
I think, and I'm answering for you a little bit, but I think you probably do more than you think you do.
Right. That determination.
Yeah. Like you went through a lot. You're never going to go back there.
Yeah.
Just that alone, you've gone through war already. So, the competitiveness is already there for the race itself. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like,
I mean, for like for the mental side of it, yeah, I think I definitely have advantages for sure, because I will not quit. I will not give up. I will not go back to the man I was before. Yeah. I will not. Like it's not that it ever will happen. It's not going to happen. I mean,
yeah.
Now, like advantage wise, like for the physical side, I mean, yeah, I lost the weight, but at the same time, and this is kind of going back into the surgery deal. A lot of people don't realize when it comes like to me and the whole training deal, it's a lot harder. I mean, because like it took me a while for me to actually update my diet to a higher calorie, because before when you had the bariatric surgery, they usually want you around the 14 to 1600 calories. Well, I was working out in the oil field. I was working on the rig, working 14-hour days and, constantly lifting iron. Like it was really wearing me down. I'm like, dude, I got to do something, because like I'm feeling like weird. I'm obviously not getting enough energy. So I ended up upgrading it up to like 2200, 24. And I ended up talking to my doctor, and I said, hey, are you okay if I up my diet? Because I already did, but I said, is it okay? Because I feel better now since I've done it, but I'm not gaining weight. I'm still losing. And they're like, well, what are you doing? And I told them what I was doing and all that. And they're like, oh yeah, you definitely need to up your intake, because you're literally burning more than you're even consuming in a day. So, I mean, it is a lot harder, but at the same token, you got to find that balance between what your body allowing you to eat and what it's not allowing you to eat. So it's like, I can eat a lot of protein, but at the same time, like to get the carbs where I want them for that energy as well, it's a little hard. Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely a harder deal when it comes to training for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Grayce.
Oh man, there's just so many things about this. I think for the mental side too, like what I think of is that's just such a difficult decision to make. And I don't know, I feel like trail running ends up with a lot of difficult decisions. And so you've had to go through a series of difficult decisions. So the mental aspect.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And it's worth noting, like, you didn't just go through the weight loss surgery and lose the weight, and now you're living a normal person's life. Like nobody can tell watching, but this dude's ripped. Like he went up the other side. He went up the other side of the pendulum. Obviously, he's doing Spartans, but you know, he didn't just stop at the weight loss. He kept going, and now a lot of his weight is muscle weight.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Now, Carl, keep going, Eric.
okay, I'll just finish real quick because
Yeah.
I want to make sure I don't forget this. And because
Yeah.
a lot of people, I think there's certain people that at least in the back of their mind, they think of this weight loss surgery as it could be thought of as a form of cheating per se, as a way to lose weight. But what they got to realize is how many limits, how hard it is living with the surgery. Like, he did what he had to do to save his life, for one.
Right.
I don't care what you're doing. He did what he had to do to save his life. That's amazing. But now, you know, listening to him and all the, you know, calorie intake he's got to watch, and taking the vitamins. And so he sacrificed this way of losing weight, but he also lost the normal way of life for the rest of us get to live with, right?
Mhm.
Which is, you know, kind of forgot about in that whole procedure. I think, like, there's a lot of limitations you have now. Is it worth it? Oh, hell yeah. But
And it's lifetime too. It's not just a little period. Like, it's lifetime.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that's worth noting and pointing out, that it's not just like, oh, you get the surgery done, it's his magic fix, and you lose all the weight because your stomach's smaller, and that's
Right.
it. That's kind of all I've ever known, honestly. So I'm just going by what other people probably think. But
Oh, yeah.
there's so much more to it that you're sacrificing in order to change your life. Save
Oh,
your
yeah. And, I mean, the biggest thing is, like, and I gotta tell everybody, you know, yeah, okay, it does help you lose the weight, but here's the thing. I'm the one still doing the work. All that weight loss surgery is a tool. It's on how you use that tool, and how correctively you use it is on how well it's going to work.
right.
And that's the thing. Like, I've seen people where they've done great with the surgery, and I've seen people where they started off great, but then they're like, oh, well, hey, I'm down to where I need to be, and they'll stay like this. And then they went into old habits, and then they put on more weight, you know, or they gained all their weight back and put on more on top of it. So it's one of those, you have this tool for life, but you have to use it correctly. You misuse it, it's going to backfire on you. And, you know, it's a life thing. It's a literal lifestyle change. It's not a permanent, you know, oh, hey, it's going to keep you like this forever. Like, if you cannot slack. I mean, because I've slacked a couple times and I put on a little weight, but I caught myself, and it was only like 5 pounds. I mean, just 5 pounds. And that, you know, upset me enough where it was like, all right, go back to this diet, get strict again, push harder. And then sure enough, right back down again.
Yeah. And it's major surgery. I mean, you know, so Eric, my experience with it, honestly, I knew somebody who passed away from it. I was a teenager, and it was a family member of a friend, and it was really sad. You know, and it was purely because they didn't follow the post-operation instructions. But yeah, it's a major surgery that you're doing. And I love that you're emphasizing some of this stuff, Eric, because it really is mind-blowing. Another piece of it, Carl is just coming with it with the good questions. Have you?
I mean, we need him on. Carl, you got to watch all the time. These questions are amazing.
Yeah, thank you. This is very helpful. So, Dan, have you lost any friends as a result of the transformation? You know, just because of having different activities, or because of them not accepting the new Dan? You know, can you talk through your relationships and how those may have changed through the process?
So I wouldn't say I've lost a lot of friends. I mean, I have lost a couple, like, that just kind of like lost contact with me, and just because, you know, they were so used to the old me. But I mean, like, my ego or any like that thing, like, none of that changed. Like, I'm still the Dan that, you know, I've always been known as. Like, I'm still the funny guy, you know, always, you know, just pushing. Just now I'm going harder with it. I've actually gained more friends than anything, especially through support groups and stuff like that, which, you know, here towards the end of this show, I will talk about a certain group that means a lot to me. But going back to the friends deal, you know, like I said, I've gained more friends than I think than anything. I mean, but like the ones that I lost, they were the ones that I obviously figured out that they weren't there for me per se. They were
Right.
there for like kind of who I was, but not there like on the supporting side, if that makes sense. Like they liked who I was, like to make fun and have jokes with, but like they weren't there like supporting me wise. Like because when I had the surgery, it was kind of like they just like completely fell off the earth, didn't even contact me. And then I tried contacting them. It was like all of a sudden like, oh well, I'm busy, or they couldn't answer anything. And it was like, what's up? Like we've been friends for how long, and now all of a sudden you like ghost me? Like what's going on here? So I was like, you know what? It's just obviously not meant to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the racing community between OCR, Spartan, trail running, I mean, you name it. Like I can't even tell you how many friends I've gained. I mean, I've got so many people that I've literally met, and even through the support groups. I mean, I'm supportive. I'm part of quite a few support groups on Facebook, and I've met people, globally wise. I got people from Canada. I've got people from, Ireland, UK, Germany. I mean, I've got all sorts of people all over the world that I'm, now good friends with.
That's great. Well, so Eric, I know what direction I want to go in. What other questions do you have?
I want to go in the direction that you want to go in.
Perfect. So tell us a little bit about, where you're at right now. I won't ask this question yet, so don't answer it yet. I am going to ask what races do you have on your calendar, but kind of where are you at right now? What support groups? Definitely shout them out and tell us a little bit about where you are currently.
For like training wise, or where are we going? Like where you mean?
Wherever you want to go with that.
All right, so
Hey, I have a quick question for you, Dan.
Yeah.
I know you just asked me this, Grayce, but it just popped in my head. So your amazing wife, who supported you through all of this,
oh yeah,
did she change her habits with you, and I'm not looking to get in a personal stuff, but did she just keep living the way she was, and you have to change your habits to fit your lifestyle now, or was it something that both of you kind of went in head first together?
So yeah, that was the other thing I forgot to mention. My wife, she actually did the surgery with me. So we both agreed that when I was serious about wanting to do the weight loss surgery, she was nervous. I ain't gonna lie, she was very nervous about it in the beginning. But then she turned around and she wanted to see like how I did first. She saw how successful I was because, like I said, I plummeted quick. Hell, I think I lost just 100 pounds alone in like 4 months, not even. Like, I mean, I plummeted down. And it was right then, what was it? I think it was like June or July. She had went into her program, and she had hers in January of 23, January 17th. So she actually just recently had her 1 year's surgery. She was at her highest of, I believe, 300 or 305, I believe. And now she's rocking the 170 range, if not a little bit below it right now. I mean, she looks
Why
great.
is she not sitting right next to you on the show right now?
Unfortunately, she is at work. He is a worker. I will admit, first quality.
If she wasn't, that would have been awesome. That's phenomenal.
Oh yeah. She works over here at First Quality in Lock Haven, but she's a worker. But I mean, that's where she got a lot of her rapid weight loss from, because she's a QA, so she's constantly moving on her feet all the time. She's always moving. So I mean, really, for her, she don't have to go to the gym like I do. Now, granted, I do a lot in my job, but at the same time, it's like, let's go up another level. Like I always have to go the next level up. I can't just sit normal. Like I got to move.
Yeah.
So that's it. It's just my lifestyle. I mean, and I don't regret a single bit of it. But so for like training wise, I'm going to the gym about 5 to 6 days a week. I go over to Planet Fitness. I usually do about an hour or so on the weights, and then I do about half an hour on my cardio with the abs and core, and then I go into like the elliptical, what is known as the arc trainer.
Yeah.
I do anywhere from 10 to 13 miles a day. My legs hate it at times.
Yeah.
There's nights that I'll come home and like I'm cramping up at night. But it's not too bad.
And do you still go in for checkups with your doctor?
So since I'm like past the 1 year mark, now I basically go once a year.
Okay.
Now if I feel like there's something going on, like I'm like for a while that like if I feel like if there's something doesn't seem right, they
Mhm.
said, call them and they'll get me right in, and then we'll, start doing blood work and start working our way backwards and seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just a yearly thing.
So where, you talked a little bit about your blood pressure going up and all of that. So did those metrics come down and your
Yeah, just from
not
me
better
losing,
position?
that. Well, I lost more than the 10% that they required.
Mhm.
I showed up for pre-op. What was it? I think it was like a week before, and they said my blood pressure was normal.
Okay.
So they talked to my doctor, and he's like, "Yeah, you're done. Like you're off the blood pressure." He's like, "You're obviously good." I was like, "Oh, sweet." So the only thing I had left was just the sleep apnea, and I
Uh-huh.
actually just had my recent study done just the other week I had a follow-up, and actually just finally got approved that I am now officially out of sleep apnea. So I literally have no medical
Wow.
conditions anymore that I was being held for.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
huge.
you.
It's a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
hard work.
yeah, because wearing that CPAP is a pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
And to
I-
travel with it and yeah.
exactly.
There's a lot. Now, Carl came in with another great question. I love this. Was there a specific time, either in training or at a race, where the light bulb went off in your head and you were like, oh shit, I'm a legit athlete now?
I would probably say, yeah. I mean, I'd probably say I want to say when I did the Spartan Beast,
Yeah.
I got all the way up to the top, and I
Mhm.
just had this like beautiful view, and I look back and there's like a ton of people behind me, and I'm like, whoa, like I thought I was further behind, and here there's people, behind me, and there
Uh-huh.
was a good group, and it was just like, all right, like this is legit now. So like this is like and the funny thing is like I got done with that race and like I felt great. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
like screaming in pain. I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm sore. Like what did I get myself into? Like, are
Mhm.
you an idiot? Like what the hell? And like I did fine. And I don't regret it at any point. Like I love it. Like it's literally my lifestyle and it's my passion.
Yeah.
I don't want to go off on a tangent here either, but one thing I found is, certain people, um, some people can replace one addiction with another, and it can
Mhm.
be a good addiction, uh,
Oh yeah.
such as, Spartan racing or racing in general or staying in shape and this and that. Do you feel like weight loss or, I guess, eating addiction, for lack of a better word,
Mhm.
do you think that this lifestyle you're in now, replaces that for
Oh
you?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. That's a good replacement.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people have been helping, influence me. So like the first person I met, like when I got to the OCR, her name is Chloe Lawson. She is a personal trainer, but she also owns a gym out in Utah. It was just weird. Like we somehow met on Facebook, and she kind of went through not a similar journey, but she had a little bit of overweight, and she just got to the point where she's like, you know what, I got to do something about it, blah blah blah. And she met me, and she's like, you know what, you're perfect for like what I'm looking for. Like you're like what the meaning of Body Ninja is, and that's the name of her gym is Body Ninja. And she does really great with it. And then I right before I'd gotten to Spartan, I had gotten or no, was it before Spartan or was it before Savage? I forget. But I had met a girl named Brittany West. She is part of a group called More Heart Than Scars.
Mhm.
And this is going to be one of the big shout outs to one of the biggest groups that I have extreme passion for. And I wish them well. And I hope they go as far as they can with this. More Heart Than Scars, they are a group that literally helps out with adaptive athletes. And if I remember correctly, I think Carl said something about that on the last episode. He had said
Mhm.
about the adaptive athletes, and how
Yep.
it was different on how to cater for them, and how to get it to where like they can do the races. So the More Heart Than Scars, they are a group that literally helps anybody with physical or mental scars, because like they said, not all scars are physical. Some are hidden and you cannot see them. So, with that being said, they help people with the mental side of it, people that have had like suicide awareness, dark thoughts, they're struggling, anything like that. But they also have had a lot of different people that have a lot of physical disabilities. They have literally, I think they have 3 wheelchairs, and the group literally pulls them like a chariot. They have three or 4 people up in the front with the ropes pulling. They have a person in the back guiding, and they literally go through every obstacle, and they literally help the athlete with that obstacle, get them back down, put them back in the chair, get them going again until they get to the next obstacle, and they will finish that race. And they've actually have helped people actually do an ultra, which,
Wow.
an ultra for Spartan is 31 plus miles. I mean, they've literally done it. Now, granted, they may have not met the cutoff time all the time.
Sure.
But they finished. They made sure that athlete had finished what they wanted.
So, Yearick, if something happens to me, I expect you to drag me up a hill and help me to complete Call of the Wilds.
Hi,
Eastern States.
If not, I'll just call the More Heart Than Scars crew up, and we'll get you going. I'll call Joe and the Flamer.
How do you change that from a 50K to a 100-miler? Like, oh, it just pops in my head. No, that's not fair. Like, let's stick with the 50K. I'll kick you down the hill.
Thanks, Yearick.
So another 2 people I definitely want to call out on this too, that have been a big help, is Adam Kolb, which I know you know personally, Yearick.
Amazing dude.
I'm pretty sure you do too, Grayce.
I do. Yeah. Well, see, I am also, I don't talk about it as much, but I haven't done a Spartan in a few years, but I have my share of trifectas behind me, and I've spent plenty of time at Palmerton. That's my favorite place, but I've been to some other venues as well. So Aru.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But Adam's one of them guys that like he's got like my same style. I don't know how to describe it, Yearick. What would you say? Attitude or?
Yeah, and I can understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I guess I have like, me and him have like kind of like the same ambition. Like we want to go big, but go hardcore with it. And I actually added Adam on my Strava, and like I'll be working out, and like this guy will like chime in and be like, "Oh, Adam Kolb did this," and I'm like looking, and it's like he did like 40 miles on the Peloton bike, and it's like, really? And like here I am, like 10 miles on the elliptical at like almost 70 minutes, and I'm like, well, all right, now I got to step it up. So I mean, Adam's definitely been a big help, and he's really making me really push. And then I met a guy actually too back last year. It was in November, right before Thanksgiving. I did my first ever Spartan Deca, which is basically you do 10 obstacles as fast as you can. You got like a rower, you have a weighted ball that you have to do over the shoulders, you have the ski machine. Like it's very fast paced. His name is Michael Museg. It's kind of funny. We met each other and we raced against each other. And he loved my story, and so did his kid. And he's like, dude, you're a true inspiration. And like, we've literally become best friends now. But oh yeah, here Mike's on there. Okay.
Yeah. He's
but Mike has been there quite a bit for me on this. We've done quite a few decas now together. We went and did the Quakertown one in early January, and then we did another one in 2 weeks ago. I did it up there in Corning, New York, and that was the Deca Mile. So the Deca Mile is the same thing as the Strong, but you're adding in a mile on top of it. So every obstacle in between, you're running a 1/10 of a mile. And then the next step up that you can go from there to finish your trifecta for the Deca series is the Deca Fit, which is a 3.5 to 5 miles added in. So you have to run 500 meters in between each obstacle.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it's important. I appreciate you calling out a couple of these athletes. Adam Kolb is the one that I know. I'm dear friends with, but it's important, he inspires more people than he probably knows and realizes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's important to call him out on that. He doesn't
Mhm.
need to know. He doesn't care. That's not the point. But it's, these people deserve to be recognized for what they do. The amount of exercising and time he puts in
Yeah.
for the man he is deserves to be recognized. And not only that, but he shares it with others. And
If
Oh,
you
yeah.
want to be inspired, follow Adam Kolb on Strava, and you will
And-
you will be inspired.
Yeah.
immediately.
inspired, but keep in mind, comparison is a thief of joy. Do not
Yeah.
compare yourself
Hey.
to that man.
Trust me, I tried to
Yeah.
compare myself with him, trying to do
Nope.
like his level, and it's like I'm not that high
No.
yet.
Don't
Just be
compare,
happy
just
where
be
you are.
inspired by it. Just be
Yeah.
inspired
The
by
biggest
it.
thing that I want is I want to be able to podium with. I don't even care if he takes first. I just would love to be on a podium,
Yeah.
whether it's second or third, with Adam Kolb. As
That's
long
a
as I can say I podiumed with him, I'd be set.
That's a phenomenal goal, and I'm sure you're going to get there.
Oh yeah.
All right. So what races do you have on the schedule for this year?
What races don't I have? So Spartan, my wife actually as a Christmas gift, she bought me the Spartan pass. So literally I can do
Nice.
any and every Spartan race in all of, because I did the ultra one because it was smarter just to buy the ultra.
Right.
So with the ultra pass, I also get the ultras for free as well.
Mhm.
Because I want to do 3 of them this year alone. I want to, go big. Now, granted, it's not Killington, Vermont, which is literally the hardest one that Spartan has in the whole nation. But I'm going to be doing Fayetteville, Dallas, and Newberry, South Carolina for the ultras. So the ultras, like I said, those are 31 miles. The beast, they are 13 and a half ish. And then you have your super, which is your 10K, and then your sprint, which is a 5K.
Mhm.
I'm going for 9 trifectas alone just on that. So, but 3 of them are going to be with the ultras instead of the beast. So, I mean, we definitely got a busy schedule there. So, I start off in March. I'll be going to Atlanta. Then from there, it's what is it? Hold on, I'll pull my schedule up real fast. I know I go to Atlanta, and then it goes right to New Jersey. And then after that, then we're looking at Fayetteville in May. And then after that one, we are going to, let's see, Cincinnati. Killington. I got quite a few Savages. I got Ohio, Pennsylvania. I'm also going to be doing Boston. I've also got, like I said, the Dallas one for Spartan as well. I also got Killington. Then I'll be doing New Jersey in the fall. So like when I go to do the New Jersey one to get my trifecta, I'm going to do the spring. I'm going to do the beast, and then I'm turning right around the next following weekend, and I'm going for a ultra fecta weekend. So that's the other thing too. Like I'm not going just for trifectas. I'm also doing 3 ultra fectas. So I'm doing the ultra, the super, and the sprint, and it's just under 50 miles in one weekend. So yeah, I'm definitely putting myself into some punishment, but
Really, all said and done, it's a pretty light year then. That sounds.
Oh yeah, it's real light. It's only I think now since I keep adding on more each week, I think I'm up to like 56 races for the whole year. That's just like another group I just found out too. I don't know how big they are, but I honestly think they deserve to be bigger. Noob Sanity, they're up in Binghamton, New York. They have a permanent OCR track that's up there. I just recently did a race up there. What was that, last weekend? No,
Yeah.
when was your party, Yearick? Last weekend?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last weekend, I went up to New Sanity and I did what was known as the night ops. It was a 90-minute endurance course. You had to run as long as you can, as many laps, and the laps were mile loops. And then of course at the end, the finisher was a polar plunge into an ice pond.
Nice.
So yeah, that was a little interesting, but I did great. I did 3 full laps, and then I finished, with the polar plunge. I earned my medal for that too. But they, the next one I got coming up with them for the Noob Sanity is on the 18th. It's called the Frozen 4-miler. It's 4 miles. You can do it however you want, regular, rucket, or the idiot style version is running in a bathing suit.
Nice.
Literally,
I have a bathing suit that would be perfect.
it's literally bathing suit, hat, gloves, and shoes are all you're allowed to wear. That is it.
Okay.
You should show us the bathing suit on
Doable.
next week's show, Grayce. You can wear it. Dan
There
hasn't
you
seen
go.
Yeah, I'll show you pictures, Dan. It's fun.
But
right.
the other one that I do have also that I forgot to mention is Bone Frog Challenge, which they are also a big race series that it means heart to me as well. They are through Navy SEALs.
Mhm.
So obviously, like I said, my dad was military, so the Navy has always been close to me, especially the Navy SEAls. So they're a good race series.
Yeah.
Another call out that I do want to give before I know we're getting close on time. I do want to thank Infinite Hero Foundation. They are actually a foundation that is helping sponsor me.
Awesome.
They've hooked me up with some swag, but the nice thing with Infinite Hero is they're kind of like More Heart Than Scars, but they are geared towards the veterans. They help with mental and physical disabilities as well.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, I'm going to be the fun police and say we have to shut her down.
Yeah, we got to shut it down. But, best of luck on all of your races. Where can people follow you? You're on Facebook, you're on the Stravas and the Instagrams and all those things?
I'm on all of it. I'm on the TikTok. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, all that. I'm just looking for anybody that wants to either run with me or, even if anybody wants to help support me, I do have some flyers out on my Facebook, if anybody wants to help sponsor, donate towards me. Anything helps because like you guys obviously know how it is too.
Mhm.
OCR racing or just even trail racing, it can get very expensive.
Yep. And we want you to be able to keep inspiring other people out there. So
Means a lot.
everybody
Thank
follow
you.
Dan.
Yeah, keep that in mind, Dan. We talked about Adam Kolb and how much he does inspire and motivates other people, but I think all three of us and everybody watching could pretty much guarantee that you probably inspired at least one person tonight, or somebody who listens to the show this coming week on Spotify or whatever to, I don't know, think about their life, maybe do something different. Who knows? But it doesn't take much to change somebody's life.
Oh yeah. And it's like I said, it's weird, seeing it from this side of the coin now. Cause like before, I didn't think I was ever going to be that person. And, now, it's taken me a while to see it, but now like hearing as many people like, dude, you inspire me, you've changed me to do this, you've changed me to do that. And it's very rewarding. And it's not like I was looking for that. Like, I just want to help people like I wanted the help given to me.
Yeah.
And, now all the people that have helped me, I'm turning around and I'm helping either them or, I'm helping people that have struggled that they know and, turning their lives around.
Yep.
Yeah. The best part, we've had a couple weight loss journeys on our show. Lucky enough to have them on already, including yours. But bottom line is it's a challenge, just like running, just like racing, just like OCR courses, just like Spartan stuff. And it's a very hard challenge. So it deserves the voice to be told, the story to be heard. And we really appreciate you coming on and saying some things that, might not be super comfortable. But like I said, somebody's listening. A lot of people are listening, and you never know whose life you're affecting.
Oh yeah. And if anybody wants to, like Grayce said, follow me. And if anybody wants to race with me, I am going to be racing pretty competitive this year. But if anybody messages me and says, hey, can I run a Spartan with you or can I run a Savage? I will literally jump out of competitiveness and I will literally run with you. I don't care if you're slow. I don't care if you're fast. If you're faster than me, I'll try my best and keep up. But I'm not Eric. I'm not always in the front.
Yeah, well, you got to bring Yearick into an OCR. I don't think he's done one yet.
I know. I want to put his test to the theory and see if he's still in the front then.
So it is Adam Cole, and I'm not biting on that. No.
Come on. But, but going to that, like, you know, like if anybody wants to race with me, like I will flat out race with them. Like I don't care if you're slow. I don't care if you can't do an obstacle, you know, fully on your own. Like if you need help, I will literally stop and I will help you with that course. Like I do not care, because regardless, and like I said this to you guys at that party, we're all here to do one thing: finish.
Yeah.
It's that plain and simple. It does not matter whether you get the gold or not. We all finish together. We all live together. We're all one family. And that's what I love about the racing community, whether it's OCR, trail, even just regular, you know, marathon runners. I mean, we're all in this together.
Yep. Well, we sure appreciate you being on and telling your story. I have a feeling, I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. We might hear another story from you in the future about your first 100-mile trail race or something like that. I feel like you might have the right head to, you know, switch over to that side, that dark side.
I do want to try one. I told Grayce this. I do want to try one. Depending on how it goes. If it goes good, I'll do, you know, maybe one more or whatever. But like, I at least want to be able to say I completed one at least one time.
There you go.
Nothing
But
wrong
if I
with
do that, Eric, now you're going to have to do a Spartan.
All right, we can
I
talk.
love
off
that.
air. Off air, we'll talk.
All right.
All right, man. Thanks again. Everybody who tuned in, thank you for tuning into the show. If you're not listening until the recording, then thanks for listening. And we will be on next Monday to probably talk a lot of snot talk. Frozen.
Yeah, we have snot talk happening next weekend. So be sure to tune in. Also, I haven't seen any recent reviews. So throw us some ratings and some reviews to get
When
us
is
up
the
on
Frozen
some
Snot?
this
Saturday.
weekend.
This weekend. All right, maybe I'll come up and I'll try to help volunteer.
Yeah. The more the merrier. It's going to be a blast.
Grayce is still looking for race reports. I haven't heard her beautiful voice for a while on the show. So
thank you.
Get her your race reports.
Yeah, send me your race reports. I have I wanna read them to everybody. Share them with everybody else.
All right, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow, Monday at 7:30. Have a good week.
See you. Bye.